trying to raise the funds and get approval of the accepted design for the memorial. And there seemed to be people trying to discredit both the architect, Maya Lin, and the color selected for the memorial. And this reached the point where it took on a life of its own in terms of racial overtones. I had heard this one time too many, and we needed to set the record straight. And so that's the response I had to some of the people who were criticizing not only Maya Lin's heritage, but the color of the wall. A veteran is a veteran is a veteran is a veteran. They all represent service to our country. They all represent sacrifice. They all represent a calling a little bit above the norm. This is the case of Captain Pitts. Captain Riley Pitts was the first African-American officer to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. He was put into a situation that surprised him, and he and his soldiers responded because they love each other. That's the first one. You get that kind of teamwork when you belong to a unit and the unit has a proper cohesiveness. And so it doesn't surprise me that he took the actions that he took to save his soldiers' lives and to turn a potential disaster into a success, at least to the point that he was able to perform his mission and secure his position. So I think that's a classic example of what we're talking about when we say valor. This is a tribute to service by service members, but its purpose is to heal a nation. That's all of us, those who served and those who did not serve. And as long as we recognize that, then we can get on with the business of building the best America that we can. And yet, as we stand here on this ground, there were people who thought that it was better to have the softball fields than to have an education center for our youngsters, and yet we're criticizing youngsters for what they don't know. I like to call it the Education and Visitor Center, because its spirit is going to be one where we, bring the people listed on the wall to life, but more importantly, it's a bridge from then to now. It gives the young people who are preparing themselves for a visit to the memorial a chance to come in and see those names and to see some of the aspirations of the people who gave their life in Vietnam. It also educates them on the Vietnam era. They're the ones that are going to have to keep this era alive. They're the ones who are going to have to promote it, study it, analyze it, and make judgment that cause us not to repeat it. We want to take these young folks, and I think the Education Center is a great start. 30 years now, the clock is running. We've missed 30 years worth of children being educated on the era. We've done a great job of providing the teachers and the schools with materials to use. Now it's time to close the loop, this final chapter, and build this education center so that the kids will have a place to transition, and those Afghanistan and Iraqi veterans will also have that picture shown, will also be able to see that we're saying, welcome home, well done.